Yo, what's going on? It's Joe back here again with another one here on Joe Talks. First, I want to start off by saying a like and subscribe would be appreciated, but let's talk about it. Michigan Wolverines lost 31 to I think 12 or 13, something like that. I ended up turning off the game because there was no point. They just weren't ready to play. Just plain and simple. I don't know if being out in Cali had them distracted or what, but like both sides of the ball just didn't come to play. The defense was getting ran on and passed on. Underwood wasn't playing his best at certain times, but in the second half, he kind of heated up. The first half, Bryce Underwood was looking like Arch Manning. I'm being honest. The second half, he started playing a little bit better. He ended up throwing, I think, one interception, maybe two interceptions. But the game was close up until halftime. They went into halftime 7-14. USC was up. And then after halftime, I don't know what happened. USC just started putting a whooping on them. And I'll say this, I don't know how other Michigan fans feel. I'm a Michigan fan, by the way, but I don't know how y'all Michigan fans feel. But man, I never liked Sherrone Moore. Like, doesn't he just seem like a cone? I don't even know how to explain it. It kind of seems like he's just there. I don't know how to explain it. It seems like during halftime he pretty much made no adjustments, and USC made a bunch of adjustments. That's why they pulled away. And he just doesn't have no fire in him. Say you remember Hardball. Hardball had fire in him. Hardball would always amp up his players, try to do all that. Sherrone Moore just sits there. I feel like he's a cone. He's just there. And then whenever he's suspended, they seem to play better. So I don't know. In my opinion, Sherrone needs to go. He needs to go. That's just my opinion. But yeah, it just seems like he's just a cone. He doesn't coach, Because remember when Harbaugh was there, Harbaugh would be boom, 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 beating up his quarterback, amping him up, amping up the whole team. Sherrone just, sits there. So I don't know. I feel like it's a coaching thing. Bryce Underwood, like I said, didn't start out the best. He was out there during pregame warmups with his grilling, flexing. So, I mean, it kind of seemed like his mind wasn't in the right place either. But I don't know, just the whole overall team just didn't play good. The defense played like garbage. The offense got going a little bit, and then I don't know. Because the time when Michigan was making like a comeback drive, because I think right after halftime, USC was running down the field. Then they ended up picking them off. And then Michigan was able to drive all the way down the field in the red zone. Bryce Underwood threw an interception, and that took away all their momentum. I think at that time it was 7-21, I believe, or 7-24, I believe, something like that. And then also to see how stupid Sherrone Moore is, they ended up getting a touchdown finally because they picked him off again. I think they picked off the USC quarterback, I think 2 times. They picked him off again. A big play down the field. It wasn't really a big play. The dude just missed him. The USC guy just missed him, and he ended up taking it to the house. That made it, I think, it was 13 to, I think, 24. So Michigan, and it was 13-24 in the fourth quarter. As Michigan, you're just trying to get points up to catch up. So there's no need to go for 2. What is the reason to go for 2? So they have a nice play, boom, get a touchdown. Not like it mattered though, because they didn't score again after that. But kick the extra point. What's the point of going for 2? Then they run some stupid jump play that Bryce Underwood throws the ball way out of bounds. It's like, kick the field goal. Like say Michigan did start to come back. Who knows? They probably would have lost by 1 point. Kick the extra point. Like Sherrone Moore, he's a cone. I'll continue to say it. He's a cone. Michigan needs to get rid of him. I'm being honest. But I don't know. I don't know, man. But Michigan has a lot to work on. And like I said in my previous vid, they also had a lot to work on. Well, now they got even more to work on. And I was also saying in my last vid, it'll be linked at the end of the video. It might even be in the description. But yeah, like my last video. I see Michigan being good. Like, they're going to be a good team. They're obviously going to beat teams that are lesser than them, but teams that, are like, I don't know, Big Ten contenders, or teams that, are just better than them, are going to beat on them. That's just plain and simple. And they need to get better at road games. They never win road games. I don't know what it is, but whenever they play a big school on the road, they always lose. I'm not sure. Like I said, it comes down to coaching. You have to prepare your players the right way. If you don't prepare your players the right way, then they're not gonna perform. And for those of y'all that don't know, Harbaugh is obviously with the Chargers. This past couple days, I think they were practicing at the Charger facility. So I don't know if Cali got the best of them or what, but hey, Michigan just didn't look good. So they got a lot to work on. And me personally, like, I seen them making the college football playoffs. I don't even see them making the playoffs anymore, because say you lose to USC. You know, USC looks like they're a good team, but it's a team Michigan should have beat, man. An unranked team, but I don't know, man. Because you also got to think what Michigan still has to go through. I think Michigan still plays Oregon and Ohio State. I think all the other teams Michigan should beat. But I mean, who knows? Say they lost to USC. Who knows? They're probably gonna have an upset in one of their upcoming games. So I don't know. Michigan just has a lot to work on. I don't see this year being their year. They just have a lot to work on, and they got a freshman QB. That's where I'm not gonna put the blame on him. Yes, like I said, he came out not really passing good, but he ended up turning it around in the second half. It was too late. It was too late at that point. Some of his throws just weren't accurate. I don't know. But like I said, he picked it up in the second half, and I don't know. And then there was video of him laughing on the sidelines, and it's like, man, it is what it is. That's what happens when you give a freshman $10-12 million, man. That's what happens. They're either way, win or lose, they're still getting paid. So when you give a freshman QB that much money, shit, I'd probably be on the sidelines dancing. It just is what it is. But yeah, Michigan, unfortunately, this isn't your year. And they also like the offense is a very young team. So their O-line, most of it's freshmen. Their quarterback, a freshman. A lot of their wide receivers or transfers. The one McCulley guy is pretty much the number one guy. Their defense, also a lot of new guys, but I mean they're experienced guys, and they just weren't playing. They just weren't performing yesterday. The defense looked really bad yesterday, and normally the Michigan defense, has no problem stopping people, but they just could not stop USC. I don't know what was going on. And something I also noticed, also with Wink Martindale, what he does is he loves to blitz. But it seems like this year, the guys that you're blitzing, they're not getting to the quarterback. So when you blitz and don't get to the quarterback, that's when it's an issue. Because when you blitz like a corner or whatever, then there's probably going to be a wide receiver open. So if you don't end up getting to him, then he's probably going to be a wide open guy down the field. And that's what was happening yesterday. So say they can't get the blitzes down, hey, just drop back into coverage. It's okay. You don't have to blitz every play. It's one thing if you're blitzing and you're getting the guy, but if you're blitzing and missing him, that's when it's an issue. And I think that's what mainly happened yesterday. That's what's been happening in a lot of their games. Just they've been ending up actually getting the guys. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. But Sherrone Moore needs to go. A lot of his guys are just unprepared, in my opinion. But I'm curious to see what other Michigan fans feel. This was a very unfortunate upset. It kind of had me depressed, not going to lie. For those of y'all that are baseball fans, the Tigers lost, the Wolverines lost, and the Lions play tonight. All right, get out of the camera, fool. And the Lions play tonight. So say all three of them teams lose. This is going to be a very depressing week for your boy. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap the vid up. I'm curious to see what other Michigan fans feel about this. But hey, I'll keep saying it again. Sherrone Moore, you're a cone. Sherrone Moore, you don't prepare the team right. But yeah, Sherrone Moore, you're a cone. Michigan needs to get rid of him. That's my opinion. But anyways, like I said, I'm curious to see what y'all think. A like and subscribe would be appreciated. Check out any previous vids that pop up here on screen. That'd also be appreciated. And I'll catch y'all later. Peace.